In today's lesson, we're going to build upon what you learned last lesson using the single point perspective drawing technique, and we're going to look at drawing things that are a little more complex, so objects or shapes that are a little bit more complex. But the same principles apply. So we're going to have to draw the line going across the middle of the page once again, like we did at the start of last lesson. So remember, nice and lightly, going from one side to the other. Then approximately in the middle, put in your cross there. Okay, once you've done that, I'm going to ask you to draw a series of simple shapes, so simple geometric shapes, so shapes such as perhaps an L shape. So we'll go for a simple L shape for our first shape. And then we're going to move on to some more, little bit more complex shapes. Nothing too difficult just yet. So remember, for your 2D shape, make sure that you're drawing it nice and lightly. So that's what I meant by drawing a simple L shape. And now what I'm going to do is use that same technique as I used for the cubes to create this into a three-dimensional shape. So I'm going to place my pencil once again in the middle of the vanishing point. I'm going to join it to the bottom right corner and draw a nice light line from the vanishing point to the corner. So again, I'm placing my pencil on the vanishing point, onto the corner of the object, like so. And I'm going to repeat that for each of the forward-facing points of the shape. So there's an inside point there. You can see that I joined to the vanishing point. Like so. Okay. Just to remind you, I would not need to do this bottom corner, simply because it goes through the original two-dimensional profile that I drew to begin with, that original L shape. Okay, so now remember, we are now working on the principle of parallel lines. So I'm going to join up, I'm going to get my ruler, I'm going to line it up with the top of the shape. I'm going to slide it up so that I've got this parallel line that is horizontal across the page. Then putting my pencil on that point there, I'm going to take my ruler, slide it across to draw the vertical line. Same principle again. I'm going to pop my pencil at the end of the line I've just drawn, slide it up, or slide the ruler up I should say, ready to draw that horizontal line. And my final line then is this last vertical one, so I've still got my pencil. At the end of that point, I'm going to slide my ruler across in order to complete that L shape in a three-dimensional way in single point perspective. And then I can rub out the excess lines around the page. Okay, so what I'd like to see you do today is actually produce a series of different shapes. I've prepared a couple of examples on the next page here, of which I'm going to turn into three-dimensional objects using the same technique that I've used here. So you can see the different shapes. You can see the L shape that I just showed you here. There's this sort of a random shape there, a reverse C shape, and there's this shape here. And this one here is interesting because this line is diagonal. If any of you are up for the challenge, have a go at this one here, but I'm just going to give you the tip that when creating it in when turning it into a three-dimensional shape, the perspective line, okay, has to be diagonal as well. It needs to be parallel to this one here. But have a go at doing some random shapes of your own. I'd like to see the page full, maybe more than 4. And hopefully you get along okay with that.